The elevator should have gone from the 76th floor to the 78th. Harper Grant knew that, because she had checked the blueprints 6 times. She stood alone inside the glass and black marble elevator of Zaydan Spire, a luxury skyscraper rising over Dubai like a blade of light, her tablet tucked under one arm, a voice recorder clipped to her safety vest, and one hand resting near the emergency stop panel. Outside the glass walls, the city glittered beneath midnight haze. Gold highways, black sea, impossible towers, and a moon half hidden behind desert dust. The floor indicator changed. 76. The elevator slowed. Harper frowned. It was not supposed to slow. Her thumb moved to the inspection console. Car 1, after-hours safety test, she said into her recorder. Unexpected deceleration between 76 and 78. The lights flickered. The elevator stopped. The indicator glowed one number she had not seen in any file. 77. Harper went very still. There was no 77th floor. Not in the architectural drawings. Not in the municipal records. Not in the elevator control matrix. Not in the permit package that had been couriered to her hotel 3 days earlier with a note that said, politely and expensively, that Zaydan Spire required a final independent safety certification before its private reopening. The doors slid open. Cold air entered the elevator. Not office air. Server room air. Harper stepped out because she was a safety inspector, because curiosity was the disease that kept good engineers alive, and because machinery did not invent floors unless someone had taught it to lie. The room beyond was vast, windowless, and silent, except for the low hum of hidden ventilation. Then the lights rose. Harper stopped breathing. Passports covered the tables. Hundreds of them. American, British, Emirati, French, Russian, Canadian. Names stacked beside new names, old names, altered names. Locked phones sat in neat rows under glass. Hard drives lined black shelves. A wall of monitors showed camera feeds from elevators, corridors, lobbies, garages, rooftops, and private suites. One screen showed Harper entering the building 2 hours earlier. Another showed her signing in at security. Another showed her hotel room door from the hallway. Another showed a live close-up of her standing right where she stood now. Her own face looked back at her, pale beneath the harsh white light. A red line appeared across the main screen. Voice print captured, Harper Grant. Her blood went cold. Behind her, the elevator doors began to close. Harper spun and lunged. Too late. The doors sealed. The indicator vanished. A speaker hidden somewhere in the room came alive. "Welcome, Inspector Grant." The voice was male, smooth, wrong. Harper reached for her phone. No signal. Her tablet flashed once, then locked with a black screen. On the wall, another monitor changed. A live map of the building appeared, every floor pulsing in blue. Then the top 7 floors turned red. The speaker whispered, "Say your name." Harper did not move. The room waited. "Say your name, Inspector." She looked at the passports, the phones, the surveillance feed. Her own captured face. Then she lifted her chin and said nothing. A door opened across the room. Not the elevator, a side wall. The seam had been invisible until it split, revealing a private corridor, washed in black glass and gold light. Men entered first, 4 of them. Dark suits, earpieces, hands open but close to weapons. They moved with the synchronized calm of men who had been trained not to waste fear. Then he appeared, Malik Zaydan. Harper recognized him instantly, though she had never seen him in person. Everyone in Dubai had seen some version of him. Magazine covers, construction deals, charity galas, port acquisitions, court rumors that never became cases, a billionaire developer to the public, a logistics king to governments, and something far older and darker to people who knew how freight moved when it was not supposed to. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and dressed in a black suit cut with surgical precision. His skin was olive gold under the cold lights, his dark hair swept back, his jaw shadowed with close stubble. Black and gray tattoos marked the side of his neck above his open collar, and disappeared beneath the cuffs of his tailored jacket, visible again across the backs of his hands. His eyes found Harper, not the passports, not the screens, her. Something in his face changed so quickly she almost missed it. Recognition, then suspicion, then command. "Who brought you here?" he asked. His voice was quiet. Harper had heard men yell with less force. "I'm the elevator safety inspector. I did not ask your profession. And I didn't ask to be kidnapped by a fake floor." One of his bodyguards shifted. Malik lifted one hand. The man froze. Harper noticed. Of course she noticed. Men did not just obey him. They stopped existing as independent objects when he moved a finger. Malik's eyes dropped to her safety vest, her tablet, the small voice recorder, the grease mark on her thumb from inspecting the landing lock assembly, the scuff on her boot from the machine room. Then he looked at the screen showing her hotel hallway. His jaw hardened. "This room was not mine." Harper laughed once, sharp and disbelieving. "It's in your building. My building has 76 accessible floors, a mechanical crown, and a private executive level. This is floor 77. This is a declaration of war. You expect me to believe you didn't know someone built an entire illegal surveillance archive inside your skyscraper?" Malik stepped closer. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. "I expect you to understand that if I had built this room, you would never have found it." Harper did not step back. She wanted to, but she had spent 10 years in elevator shafts, machine rooms, suspended cars, and construction sites full of men who thought volume outweighed expertise. Fear did not get safety reports finished. "The elevator brought me here during an authorized test run," she said. "That means someone tied this floor into the active control system." Malik's eyes sharpened. "Can you prove that?" "I could if my tablet weren't locked." He looked toward one of his men. "Restore her device." The man hesitated. Malik turned his head. The man moved immediately. Harper watched him. "You really didn't know?" His gaze returned to her. "No." The speaker came alive again. "Careful, Malik. She wants to trust you." Every guard drew a weapon. Harper's pulse slammed. Malik did not look at the ceiling speaker. He looked at her. "Evacuate the building," he said. A bodyguard stared. "Sir, every resident, every employee, every guest, now." Harper blinked. "You're evacuating a 76-floor skyscraper at midnight?" Malik's eyes stayed on hers. "Because you found a floor that did not exist." The red lights on the building map began to spread. The speaker laughed softly. "Too late." The elevator behind Harper opened. "Empty," the speaker whispered. "Going down." The floor dropped beneath them. Not the room. The elevator car. It fell past the open landing like a guillotine slipping into darkness. The sound of cables screaming through the shaft made every instinct in Harper's body ignite. She ran to the landing. Malik caught her around the waist and pulled her back just as a blast of air tore upward through the open doors. The falling elevator struck something far below with a metallic thunder that shook the hidden room. For one suspended second, Harper was pressed against Malik's chest, his arm locked around her, his body between her and the open shaft. She could feel his heartbeat, slow, controlled, impossible. He lowered his mouth near her ear. "Still think I brought you here?" Harper's breath came unsteadily. "I think whoever did just tried to kill me." His arm tightened once, then released. "Yes," Malik said. "And now I am going to find out why." Zaydan's spire had been built to impress men who believed height was a form of ownership. The lower floors held luxury retail, private clinics, diplomatic offices, restaurants with impossible views, penthouses no one admitted owning, and an observation deck closed for renovations that had lasted 8 months. The top 7 floors belonged to Malik Zaydan's private empire: executive offices, encrypted server rooms, a sky lounge, a helipad, and the kind of rooms that did not appear on tourist brochures or security maps. At least, that was what Harper learned in fragments as the evacuation alarms began. A calm female voice announced in English and Arabic that all occupants should proceed to emergency stairs. Lights pulsed along the corridors. Somewhere beyond the hidden floor, people began moving, voices rising, doors opening, security teams redirecting them. Harper stood at a black glass console, while Malik's tech man tried to restore her tablet. The screen finally blinked awake. All her notes were gone. In their place was one file: Grant, authorization, PAX. Harper did not touch it. Malik stood beside her, close enough that she felt the heat of him, not touching, but occupying space like a threat with manners. "Open it," he said. "No." His eyes cut to her. "It may explain why you are here. It may also install whatever just hijacked your elevator." A flicker in his gaze. Not annoyance. Respect. Reluctant and immediate. "Then how would you open it safely? With a device not connected to the building network?" His tech man swallowed. "We have an isolated terminal on 81. Malik looked at him. "Do we?" The man paled. Harper understood the tone. Malik did not like learning about rooms inside his own tower from other people. The speaker returned. "Malik, you used to be more careful with trust." This time, Malik's expression changed. Barely. But Harper saw it. He knew the voice. "Who is that?" she asked. "My brother." The word was too clean. No affection, no surprise. Just a fact sharpened into a blade. "Kareem," Malik said to the ceiling. "Half-brother," the speaker corrected. "We should be precise." "You always valued precision." Harper looked from Malik to the screens. "Kareem Zaydan, operations chief of Zaydan Global. Publicly invisible, privately rumored to run the parts of Malik's empire that never crossed paperwork. If Malik was the face, Kareem was the machinery behind the walls. Harper understood machinery behind walls. It always failed where people assumed it would obey. "What do you want?" Malik asked. "To show you what you built. I did not build this floor. No, you built everything around it. I merely used the space you refused to see." Another monitor flashed. Video appeared of Harper in the lobby, speaking to the security officer during sign-in. "I am Harper Grant, independent elevator safety inspector." The audio replayed. Again. Her own voice flattened, isolated, measured, broken into waveforms. A line of text appeared. Live voice key registered. Harper stepped back. Malik looked at her. "What does that mean?" she answered before she could soften it. "It means your system thinks my voice can unlock something." Kareem laughed over the speakers. "Not thinks, knows." The passports on the tables began to glow under embedded lights. A vault door at the far end of the room unlocked one ring, then stopped. Partial authorization accepted. Live command required. Malik's expression hardened into something lethal. Harper pointed at the vault. "What's in there?" He did not answer fast enough. She turned fully toward him. "What's in there, Malik?" The use of his first name shifted the air. His guards noticed, so did he. "Files," he said. "Obviously. Names. Whose?" His eyes stayed on hers. People who would be killed if their old identities were exposed. Harper looked at the passports again. "You're running fake identities. I am protecting people the governments forgot after using them." That is a generous description of passport fraud. It is the only description that keeps them alive. She wanted to reject that instantly. She wanted him to be simple, criminal, predator, owner of the room, villain. But the phones were labeled in ways she could not ignore. Asylum witness, port informant, family relocation, border extraction, not trophies, records, lives. Kareem's voice returned, soft and poisonous. "She understands now." "Good. Make her ask the next question." Harper already knew it. "Why me?" Malik did not speak. Kareem answered. "Because licensed inspectors have voices buildings obey. Because she was hired through every proper channel. Because if this vault opens tonight, the logs will show Harper Grant entered a non-existent floor, unlocked protected identity files, and caused a mass leak before disappearing into the elevator accident that already happened." Harper's hands went cold. The falling elevator, the erased tablet, the live feed. The room was not only a secret, it was a trap shaped exactly like her. Malik turned to his men. "Get her out." The hidden room doors slammed shut. The lights went black. Emergency red filled the room. Then the fire sprinklers activated without water. Gas hissed from the ceiling. Harper smelled bitter almonds and metal. "Don't breathe," she shouted. Malik grabbed her hand. This time, she did not pull away. They ran toward the service corridor as his men forced the door open. One guard dropped, another dragged him. Malik shoved Harper through the gap and slammed the corridor seal behind them. Alarms screamed. The corridor beyond was narrow, black, and lined with electrical conduits. The elevator shaft yawned ahead. No elevator now, just darkness. Harper bent over, coughing once, then forced herself upright. Malik took her face between his hands. It was sudden, commanding, too intimate. "Look at me. I'm fine. Look at me." She did. His eyes searched hers for signs of poisoning, panic, weakness. She found something worse in his face. Fear, not for himself, for her. It vanished almost as soon as she saw it, but she saw it. "You do not leave my side," he said. Harper pulled his hands away from her face. "You don't get to decide that. I do tonight." "No, tonight you ask." His jaw tightened. The hallway behind them shook. Somewhere below, another elevator car slammed into emergency brakes. Malik looked at the shaft, then back at her. "Harper Grant," he said, each word controlled. "Will you stay beside me until I can keep you alive?" The question struck harder than the order had. She hated that. She also understood the building was trying to kill them. "For now," she said. His expression did not soften, but something in him settled. "For now," he repeated. They entered the technical shaft through a maintenance panel no guest of Zaydan's spire was ever meant to see. Inside, the luxury vanished. No marble, no gold, no glass. Just steel ladders, service platforms, conduit racks, oil, cable grease, and the echoing vertical darkness that lived behind every perfect elevator lobby. Harper breathed easier. This was her world. Dangerous, narrow, mechanical, honest. Malik climbed behind her with the silent control of a man who had been trained in places where falling was not the worst thing that could happen. His suit was streaked with dust now. His cuff had torn, revealing more black and gray ink over his wrist. A thin cut marked his cheek from flying glass. But he moved, as if pain were a personal insult he had declined to acknowledge. Below them, the evacuation continued. Through gaps in the shaft wall, Harper glimpsed stairwells filled with residents, hotel staff, security teams, restaurant workers, women in gowns carrying shoes, businessmen without jackets, children clinging to parents, chefs in white coats, old men guided by nurses. Thousands of lives moving downward because Malik had ordered them out. Not quietly, not secretly. He had given up control of the building to save them. That mattered. She did not want it to matter. A speaker crackled somewhere in the shaft. "Kareem. Careful, Harper. He evacuates well. It makes him look merciful." Malik did not react. Harper kept climbing. Kareem continued. "Ask him what the top floors are for. Ask him how many people disappear through his beautiful tower." Harper stopped on a narrow landing. Malik halted below her. "Do not listen to him," he said. "That's usually what guilty men say." His eyes lifted to hers. "I am guilty of many things. Not this room." The answer was too calm to be defensive. That made it more dangerous. "Then tell me the truth. This is not the place. It is exactly the place. No guards, no audience, no marble." His gaze moved over the shaft, then back to her. "The upper floors are my headquarters. Criminal headquarters. Yes." At least he did not insult her. "The vault protects people who help me destroy rival routes, port workers, accountants, women who carried ledger phones out of clubs, children of men who thought blood meant ownership. I gave them papers, phones, money, routes out." Harper studied him. "That sounds like redemption with a shipping budget." "It is not redemption." "What is it?" "Debt." The word was quiet. Kareem's voice cut in again. "He means guilt." Harper looked toward the speaker. Malik's expression hardened. Kareem laughed softly. "Tell her about the woman in Tower 2, brother." Malik went still. Harper felt the change. What woman? No answer. Kareem answered for him. Lena Zaydan, his little sister. She died in an elevator fire because Malik trusted family with safety systems. Harper's hand tightened on the railing. An elevator fire. She looked at Malik. His face had become unreadable in the way glass becomes unreadable when it is about to break. She was 14, Kareem said. The emergency voice line failed. She kept calling his name until smoke took her voice. Enough, Malik said. The word was not loud. The shaft vibrated with it. Kareem kept going. He built a tower that obeys voices because he could not save the one voice that mattered. Harper's anger shifted. Not gone. Redirected. She looked at Malik, really looked at him. The man was still dangerous, still a criminal, still capable of violence. But beneath the empire, beneath the suit and tattoos and impossible control, there was a brother standing outside a burning elevator door, listening to a girl die. Malik's eyes met hers. Keep climbing, he said. This time, his voice almost failed. Harper turned upward, but she softened one word. Okay. They climbed in darkness. The shaft lights flickered, then shut off entirely. A mechanical whine sounded above them. Harper froze. Malik stopped instantly. What? Brake release. Which elevator? She listened. The sound was faint. Traveling through steel. Service car 3. Where? Above us. Malik looked up. Somewhere in the black, a massive elevator car began to move. Too fast. Downward. Harper's body flooded with cold calculation. Move right. There was no right. Only a recessed cable bay barely wide enough for one person. Malik shoved Harper into it first. She grabbed his jacket. There's room for 2. No. Yes. He tried to force her behind him. She dug her fingers into his shirt. You asked me to stay beside you. The words stopped him. He jammed himself into the bay with her just as the service elevator screamed past. The air blast hit them like a fist. Steel roared inches from their bodies. Harper's cheek pressed against Malik's chest. His arm caged her against the wall. One hand braced above her head, the other around the back of her safety vest. The elevator vanished below, sparks raining in its wake. For several seconds, neither moved. Harper could feel him breathing, fast now. Not from fear of death, from proximity, from almost losing her. She looked up. His face was inches away, lit by a weak red emergency strip. His eyes dropped to her mouth, then closed. He pulled back carefully, as if his own body were the danger. Are you hurt? He asked. No. His hand hovered near her hair. Stopped, did not touch. The restraint unsettled her more than touch would have. Good, he said. Then, lower, almost to himself. Good. Underscore. Harper could see the evacuation through the narrow maintenance windows. Crowds pouring into cordoned plazas. Police lights reflecting across luxury cars. Security teams moving people away from the tower. News helicopters circled at a distance. Dubai glittered around the crisis, as if the city itself refused to look afraid. Inside the refuge room, Malik's remaining loyal team had set up an isolated terminal. 3 guards, 1 engineer, 1 older woman in a cream suit, who looked at Malik as if she had known him before he became a myth. Samira, Malik said. The woman's eyes moved to Harper. So this is the inspector. Harper disliked being this, anything. I'm the woman whose voice your building stole. Samira's mouth tightened. Then we have very little time. Harper set her tablet on the isolated terminal. The file loaded. Grant. Authorization packs. Video opened. Harper's father appeared on screen. Not from today. From years ago, Philip Grant had died 12 years earlier in what the insurance report called a construction lift failure. Harper had been 20. He had been the reason she chose elevator safety instead of architecture, because elevators were where buildings made promises to human bodies. She stared at the screen. Her father was younger in the video, wearing a hard hat, standing inside an unfinished machine room. Emergency voice protocol, he said. Zaydan Tower beta system. Inspector override framework. If this file is ever accessed, it means someone bypassed the licensed authority chain. Harper's throat closed. Malik stepped closer. You knew my father? No. Samira spoke softly. His firm consulted on the first tower design, before Malik owned the project outright. On screen, Philip continued. The override must remain tied to independent inspectors, not owners. Owners panic. Criminals coerce. Money lies. Inspectors are annoying because they ask why the machine wants to move. Despite everything, a broken laugh caught in Harper's chest. That sounded like him. Then the video changed. Philip looked tired, afraid. If my daughter ever sees this, Harper, I'm sorry. I built a lock no owner could open. I did not know they would come after the key. The video ended. Harper stood perfectly still. Malik's voice was low. Who killed him? Samira answered. Kareem's people. We suspected. We never proved it. Harper turned to Malik. You suspected my father was murdered and did not tell me. Malik's face tightened. I did not know your name until 3 hours ago. Samira looked down. I knew. The room went cold. Malik turned slowly toward her. Samira did not flinch. She was a civilian, a grieving daughter. Philip hid the protocol so deep no one found it, until Kareem did. Harper stared at Samira. You left me unprotected. I left you unknown. That is not the same thing. No, Samira said. It is not. Malik's voice cut through the room. Why bring her here now? Samira's composure cracked for the first time. I didn't. Kareem did. He used the annual inspection contract to draw her in. He needed her live voice because Philip's old system rejects recordings. Harper sat down because her knees suddenly felt unreliable. Her father had built a lock. Kareem had killed him for it. And now the lock had dragged her halfway across the world, into a hidden floor of passports and death records. Malik crouched in front of her, not too close. At her level, the choice mattered. I will kill him, he said. Harper looked at him. There was no performance in the statement, no raised voice, no rage for show, just certainty. She should have recoiled. Instead, grief and fear tangled with a terrible relief. Then she heard her father's voice in memory. Owners panic. Criminals coerce. Money lies. No, she said. Malik's eyes narrowed. No? You don't get to make my father's murder about your revenge. His expression hardened. He used you, and you want to use my pain to justify what you already want. Samira inhaled sharply. Malik did not look away. Harper leaned forward. If you want to protect me, protect the people in those files. Protect the evacuees. Stop the leak. Then we can talk about revenge. His gaze stayed locked on hers for a long, dangerous second. Then he rose. Open the vault, he said. Harper stood. Ask. The room went silent. A muscle moved in Malik's jaw. Kareem's voice filled the speakers again, delighted. Oh, I like her. Malik ignored him. He looked only at Harper. Will you help me open the vault before he sells those names? She hated how much the question affected her. Yes, she said, but not for you. His eyes darkened. For them, underscore. The vault lived above the city, not in the hidden 77th floor. That had been bait. The real data vault was inside the mechanical crown, behind a false cooling wall, where the building's luxury skin became something industrial and brutal. To reach it, Harper and Malik had to climb from the 82nd floor refuge to the 88th floor server spine, then through a narrow horizontal duct beneath the rooftop helipad. Kareem controlled elevators. Kareem controlled cameras. Kareem controlled public feeds. So they climbed in the dark. Harper led because she understood the building's vertical logic better than anyone. Malik followed because he refused to let anyone else take the position behind her. At the 85th floor sky lobby, they found Kareem's first gift. A live stream playing across every wall screen. Harper's face. Her voice, edited footage of her entering the hidden floor. A fake timestamp showing her accessing restricted systems. A forged evacuation trigger under her inspection credentials. The chyron beneath the footage read, American inspector suspected in Zaydan Spire data breach. Harper stopped. The city outside the glass seemed suddenly impossibly far away. They're framing me publicly, she whispered. Malik turned toward the nearest camera. Kareem, The speakers came on. She is useful. A foreign inspector discovers a hidden floor, panics, triggers evacuation, steals identities, disappears in chaos. Tragic, believable. Americans love heroic incompetence. Harper's face burned. Malik's voice lowered. Take her name off your mouth. Kareem laughed. Protective already? That was fast. Malik stepped closer to the camera. You built this with my money. I built it with your blindness. You killed Philip Grant. A pause. Kareem's voice changed. Philip refused to sell. Men who refuse market value become structural problems. Harper's hand closed into a fist. Malik looked at her, not touching, waiting. She breathed once, twice, then said, We keep moving. Pride flickered in his eyes, not soft, sharper. They crossed the Sky lobby while news footage played around them like a trial already underway. Halfway to the service door, the glass walls darkened, digital shutters sealed. The air conditioning stopped. The temperature began to rise. Harper looked up. He's shutting down cooling. Server fire risk? Human heat risk first. This floor becomes an oven if sealed. Malik grabbed a chair and smashed the glass panel covering the manual damper controls. Harper almost objected, then saw the system. Left lever, half pull, not full. He obeyed. The vents opened with a rush of air. Behind them, the service door unlocked. Kareem's voice returned, amused. She trains you quickly, brother. Malik's eyes stayed on Harper. She is saving the building you turned into a coffin. Harper felt the words move through her like heat. She did not trust him, not fully, but she trusted that he understood what mattered now. They entered the service spine. The door closed behind them. On the other side, 2 of Kareem's men waited. No warning, no speech. One lunged for Harper. Malik moved. The fight was close, ugly, and fast. No dramatic gunfire, no wasted motion. He struck the first man into the wall, disarmed the second before he could raise his weapon, and slammed him against a conduit rack hard enough to collapse him to the floor. Harper grabbed a dropped access baton and stood ready anyway. Malik turned, saw her holding it. Something in his eyes almost broke into admiration. You were going to hit him. I still might. Efficient. Don't sound proud. It's unsettling. His gaze dropped to her hands. They were shaking. She hated that he saw. He stepped closer, then stopped himself. Harper, I'm fine. You can be terrified and still be fine. The gentleness of the words landed badly. She preferred his arrogance. It was easier to fight. Keep walking, she said. He did, but he stayed half a step closer after that. The vault recognized Harper before she spoke. A ring of white light circled the black door inside the mechanical crown. Wind battered the outer shell of the tower. Beyond the maintenance grates, Dubai glittered nearly 90 stories below. Helicopters hovered in the distance, kept back by private security and fear of whatever story was unfolding above the city. Harper stood before the vault microphone. Malik stood behind her, not looming now, guarding. Samira's voice came through their isolated earpiece. The vault is unstable. Kareem has tied the release to the top-floor server network. If it opens fully, he may trigger mass file transfer. Can we isolate? Harper asked. Only manually. Where? Samira hesitated. The 7th-floor executive stack. Malik understood. Harper heard it in his silence. The top 7 floors. His headquarters. His empire. The rooms he had built above the world so no one could reach him. Kareem's voice filled the vault chamber. Open it, Harper. The world is waiting to see what Malik hides. Harper looked at Malik. What happens if these files leak? He answered plainly. Witnesses die. Families disappear. Informants are hunted. Children get dragged back to men they escaped. Governments deny they ever knew their names. No romantic haze could soften that. The vault was not a treasure chest. It was a loaded gun pointed at thousands of lives. And if we destroy the server stack, my headquarters burns. Your legitimate records, gone. Your criminal records, gone. Your power, his eyes held hers, reduced, not gone. Men like Malik did not become harmless in one night, but reduced mattered. Harper looked at the vault. My voice opens it? Yes. What if I refuse? Kareem will keep hunting you until you do. You won't? His gaze changed. No. The answer was immediate. The silence after it was not. Why? She asked. His jaw tightened. Because when you told me no, the light went on in a room I did not know was dark. She stared at him. That is not an answer. It is the only one I have. Kareem laughed through the speakers. Careful, Malik. She may think you are becoming human. Malik looked at the nearest camera. I became human the moment I feared losing her. Harper's heart stumbled. The words should have sounded like manipulation. They did not. They sounded like something forced out of him against his will. The vault microphone pulsed. Live command required. Harper stepped forward. Malik's hand moved, as if to stop her. Then he caught himself. She noticed. Ask me, she said. His eyes burned. Will you open the vault with me? With me, she repeated. Yes, she faced the microphone. My name is Harper Grant, she said clearly. Independent Elevator Safety Inspector. Emergency Manual Override. Open vault in protected isolation mode. The white ring turned gold. The vault door unlocked. Inside were servers, biometric cases, hard copy identity packages, passport trays, encrypted drives, and one central console pulsing red. Kareem's transfer had already begun. Global release, 4 minutes, 00 seconds. Malik swore softly. Harper moved to the console. Her father's old safety architecture appeared beneath Kareem's criminal overlay. She recognized the logic like handwriting. Dad, she whispered. The system required 2 simultaneous actions, Live Inspector Command and Owner-level physical authorization. Malik stood at the second console. What do you need? Your authorization will open the top floor isolation channels. My command can reroute the release into a dead loop. But the servers will still hold the data unless we physically destroy the stack. He looked at the countdown. Then we destroy the top 7 floors. Harper turned. You understand what that means? Yes. Not just money, I know. Your offices, your command center, your leverage over every rival network. Yes. The top of your empire. His eyes moved to the city below, then back to her. An empire built above people is still a coffin if you cannot hear them screaming. The echo of Lena's story passed between them. Harper nodded once. Then we do this clean. They entered the commands together. Her voice, his blood print. The system accepted. Samira shouted through the earpiece. Isolation active. Malik, once you trigger demolition protocol, you have 6 minutes to clear the crown. Harper froze. Demolition protocol? Malik did not look at her. The upper floors were built with emergency separation charges. In a skyscraper? For hostile takeover scenarios. She stared. Your building has a self-destruct option. Only the illegal part. That is not comforting. Kareem's voice returned, furious now. You cannot burn me out. I am already mirrored. Harper scanned the code. No, she said. You're not. Malik looked at her. He bluffed. The hidden 77th floor was the mirror. The elevator crash destroyed its primary transfer node. So the vault is all he has. And us. A blast shook the crown. Kareem had arrived. The vault door sparked. Malik stepped toward it. Finish the command. Malik, finish. Gunfire struck the outer door. Harper flinched. Malik did not. He turned back once. His face in the vault light was beautiful in the most dangerous way. Cut, bruised, controlled, haunted, and entirely focused on her. If I tell you to run, he said, you will argue. Yes. Good. Then he opened the vault door and stepped into the corridor. The fight outside was chaos. Sparks, shouts, bodies moving in emergency light. Harper kept her eyes on the console, even as every instinct screamed to turn around. The system asked for final voice confirmation. She spoke. Harper Grant. Protected isolation confirmed. Transfer denied. Execute destructive containment. The console flashed. Containment accepted. Manual owner detonation required. Of course, she snapped. She ran. Outside, Malik had taken down 2 men, but Kareem stood near the service bridge, holding a dead man switch wired to the server stack. He was younger than Malik by a few years, elegant, furious, and smiling, as if betrayal were simply inheritance by other means. "Inspector," Kareem said, "you have caused me trouble." Harper lifted the access baton. "I get that a lot." Kareem smiled wider. "You think he will destroy his crown for you?" "No," she said. "For them." His eyes narrowed. Malik stood between them, breathing hard, blood at his temple, tattoos stark against his throat, where his collar had torn. The violence in him was close to the surface. Kareem saw it. "Come on, brother, kill me in front of her. Show her the real owner of the tower." Malik's hand closed around his weapon. Harper stepped beside him, not behind. "Beside. Don't." Kareem laughed. "Yes, listen to the inspector. Let me leave with enough data to ruin you both." The countdown hit 2 minutes. Harper looked at the architecture beyond the service bridge. Emergency separation control was 30 feet away, across open grating. Kareem blocked the path. Malik saw where she looked. No, she ignored him and moved. Kareem lifted his weapon. Malik struck first, not shooting, but driving into him with brutal force. The dead man's switch flew across the grating. Harper lunged and caught it before it dropped into the shaft. Below her, 88 floors of open air waited in darkness. A hand grabbed her vest. Malik. Always him now. He hauled her back so hard she crashed against his chest. Kareem rose, blood at his mouth, and pulled a second trigger from his coat. Then we all fall. Harper saw the cable attached to the service bridge, saw the load line, saw the maintenance brake housing. Elevator logic. Not a bridge. A suspended platform disguised as one. "Kareem," she said. He looked at her. "You built the wrong floor." Then she slammed the emergency bridge release with the baton. The service bridge dropped 6 inches. Kareem lost his balance. Malik grabbed him by the collar before he could fall. For one terrible second, Harper thought he would pull him back. Then Malik did. Not to save him, to slam him into the railing and cuff him to it with a steel restraint from one of the fallen guards. "You do not get to die dramatically," Malik said. "You get to answer questions." He took the owner detonator from the wall. Harper stared at him. "You chose trial over revenge." His eyes met hers. "I chose what you asked me to become." The countdown hit 1 minute. They ran. Samira guided them through the maintenance crown toward the helipad access. The top 7 floors began evacuating their remaining security teams. Servers locked. Fire doors sealed. Structural charges armed in sequence. At the final ladder, Harper slipped. Malik caught her again. This time, she caught him too. They climbed onto the roof as the Dubai night opened around them. Hot wind and helicopter lights and sirens far below. The helipad was empty. Too empty. Samira's voice cracked through the earpiece. "The helicopter has been rerouted. Kareem's last trap." Harper laughed once, breathless and bitter. "Your brother is committed." Malik looked toward the edge of the roof. "There is another way." "No, you do not know what I mean. I know men and edges." He almost smiled. Almost. Then he pointed to the exterior window washing track curving down the side of the tower. Maintenance cradle. Harper stared at the narrow platform hanging beyond the parapet. "In a wind shear?" "Yes. That is insane. Is it functional?" She looked at the rigging, the emergency brake, the manual descent line. "Yes. Then it is not insane. It is unpleasant." The floor beneath them vibrated. 30 seconds. They climbed into the cradle. It swayed violently against the glass skin of the tower. Harper clipped the emergency line with shaking hands. Malik covered her hands with his. "Tell me what to do." She looked up. No command, no arrogance, just trust. "Hold the brake release on my count." He did. The charges detonated above them in controlled sequence. The top 7 floors of Zaydan Spire blew outward in fireless bursts of structural separation, glass and steel folding inward, server rooms collapsing into contained destruction. Not an explosion for spectacle, a surgical ruin. The crown of Malik's empire tore itself apart above the city. The cradle dropped. Harper screamed despite herself. Malik pulled her against him, one arm around her waist, one hand locked on the brake. The city blurred. Wind tore at them. Above, the top of the tower burned with contained white light as servers, files, command rooms, and criminal leverage died together. The descent brake caught, hard. The cradle slammed against the glass on the 78th floor. Harper gasped. Malik's forehead pressed briefly to hers. Not a kiss, not yet. Something more dangerous. Proof they were alive. His voice was rough. Still with me? She laughed shakily. For now. His eyes held hers. That is becoming my favorite answer. Underscore. By dawn, Zaydan's spire no longer had a crown. The official story called it a catastrophic security breach, emergency evacuation, and controlled containment event. No civilians died. Several injuries. Dozens arrested. Kareem Zaydan taken into private custody first, then handed, alive and furious, to international authorities with enough evidence to make his trial impossible to bury. The hidden 77th floor became a scandal the world could not stop watching. Passports, phones, surveillance feeds. An American inspector framed in real time. A billionaire owner who evacuated the tower and destroyed his own upper headquarters. The story burned across global news for weeks. Harper hated most of it. She stayed in Dubai long enough to give statements, reconstruct the elevator sabotage, testify about the fake floor, and help authorities secure the protected identity files that survived because she and Malik had isolated the vault before destroying the server stack. Samira resigned publicly, then remained privately to help rebuild the witness protection network under legal oversight. Malik disappeared from headlines after the first week, not because the cameras lost interest, because he knew how to make attention turn into fog. Harper did not see him for 13 days. When he finally appeared, it was in the service elevator machine room of the temporary inspection office, because apparently, men like Malik did not believe in normal doors, even after moral growth. She was reviewing cable damage when she heard his voice. Inspector Grant. Harper did not turn around immediately. You are not authorized to be in this room. I own the building, not this machine room. It's under investigation. A pause. May I enter? That stopped her. She turned. Malik stood at the threshold in a dark suit without a tie, one hand bandaged, a healing cut near his temple, tattoos visible at his throat and hands. He looked exactly like the kind of man she should never invite into any room where she was alone. He waited anyway. Harper crossed her arms. You learned a new trick. I am trying to make it a habit. Dangerous. For whom? Both of us. His eyes did not leave hers. Yes. She looked back at the open elevator shaft. What do you want? He stepped, only after she nodded. I returned something. He held out a small hard drive sealed in evidence plastic. Harper stared at it. What is that? Your father's remaining design files. Kareem kept them. Her throat tightened. Malik set the drive on the workbench instead of forcing it into her hand. He wrote more notes. Some about the inspection override. Some about you. Harper looked away. The machine room blurred for 1 second. Malik said nothing. That was the strangest kindness he had shown her yet. No command. No comfort forced into her hands. Just silence with room inside it. Finally, she asked, What happens to you now? My top floors are gone. My brother is in custody. My enemies believe I am weaker. Are you? Yes. The honesty surprised her. Does that scare you? His eyes held hers. No. What does? You leaving before I learn how to stand near you without trying to control the distance. Harper's breath caught. She hated that he could still do that with one sentence. You don't get rewarded for basic human restraint. I know. You don't get absolution because you destroyed expensive floors. I know. You don't get to turn me into another locked vault you need to protect. His expression changed. Pain, acceptance, hunger restrained into discipline. I know. She studied him. You said your sister called your name in the elevator fire. Yes. Lena. His throat moved. Yes. My father built a system because of that. I think so. And Kareem twisted it. Yes. Harper took the hard drive. My father used to say, elevators are trust-made mechanical. You step into a box suspended by cables and believe strangers did their jobs. Malik's eyes remained on her. He was right. You built a tower where nobody could trust the floors. I did. And then you destroyed the floors that lied. Yes. She let the silence sit. Then said, that is a start. It was not forgiveness. It was not love. It was not safety. It was a door unlocked 1 inch. Malik understood. 3 months later, Harper returned to Dubai for the final public safety hearing. Zaydan's spire had been reopened only through the 70th floor. The top remained cut flat against the sky, no longer crowned, no longer untouchable. The hidden 77th floor had been dismantled. In its place, Malik funded a public emergency safety institute for vertical evacuation research under Philip Grant's name, with independent oversight and no Zaydan control. Harper made sure of the last part. After the hearing, she went alone to the observation deck that had once hidden access to the fake floor. The city stretched beneath her, gold and white and impossible. Behind her, the elevator opened. She did not turn. You're late, she said. Malik stepped out. I waited until the deck cleared. You could have asked me to meet somewhere less dramatic. I considered it. And I remain imperfect. Despite herself, she smiled. He came to stand beside her, not too close. The skyline reflected in the glass around them. For a while, neither spoke. Then Malik said, the last protected families left Dubai yesterday. New identities. Legal channels this time. Good. Samira is helping. Good. Kareem gave up 3 rival networks in exchange for not being extradited somewhere less comfortable. Still sounds comfortable. I can make a note. Don't. He looked at her. There was the man he had been. Power, violence, certainty. There was the man he was becoming. Quieter, still dangerous, but learning to let a woman stand beside him without turning her into property. Harper touched the glass. You know, most buildings don't get second chances. Do people? Sometimes, if they pass inspection. His mouth moved slightly. Have I? No. His almost smile vanished. She turned toward him. You're not a building, Malik. I don't certify men. What do you do with them? Watch what they do when no one is forcing them. He nodded. A long pause. Then he asked, may I stand closer? Her heart betrayed her with one hard beat. Yes. He stepped nearer, not touching. The space between them became alive. Below, the city moved like a current of light. Above them, the missing crown of Zaydan's spire opened the sky. Harper looked at him. You destroyed 7 floors to keep my voice from becoming a weapon. I destroyed them because they already were. And me? His eyes darkened. You were never a weapon. What was I? The question trembled more than she wanted. Malik answered quietly. The voice that made the building tell the truth. She closed her eyes for 1 second. When she opened them, he was still waiting. That was the thing that undid her. Not the power, not the danger, not the money burning in the night. The waiting. Ask, she said. His breath changed. May I touch you? Yes. His hand rose slowly and settled against her cheek with impossible care. The tattoos across his fingers brushed her skin. He touched her like a man who knew the cost of forcing doors, cutting power, overriding systems, and calling it protection. Harper leaned in. The kiss was restrained at first, then not gentle, exactly. Honest. The kind of kiss that belonged after falling elevators, hidden floors, firelit destruction, and every terrible truth they had survived by refusing to look away. When they parted, the city was still there. So was the missing crown. So was the space where a false floor had once waited to swallow her. Malik rested his forehead near hers, not quite touching. For now? He asked. Harper smiled. For now. Far below, elevators moved safely through the tower, stopping only on floors that existed. And above Dubai, where Malik Zaydan had once ruled from hidden rooms no one could name, the sky remained open, dangerous, unfinished, and honest enough to begin again.